Have you ever wondered what your life would look like if nothing could bother you? Just imagine that for a second. No more stress over what people say. No more sleepless nights thinking about things you can't control. No more anger. No more overthinking. Only clarity, focus, and peace. What would you become if the world couldn't shake you? Most people live in reaction. One small comment, and their entire day is ruined. One unexpected problem, and they spiral. One rejection, and they lose all motivation. And they call this normal. But here's the truth. Just because it's common doesn't mean it's right. The moment you stop reacting, you rise. The moment you stop letting little things shake your world, you start building a stronger one. That's not just a motivational line. That's science. That's psychology. Because the human brain is always scanning for danger. We're built to survive, not to be happy. So when someone disrespects us or life throws chaos our way, our mind immediately fires off emotions, anger, fear, insecurity, shame, and we react fast, emotionally, without thinking. But here's where your power begins. The moment you start noticing your reactions, you start separating yourself from them. You become the observer, not the puppet, and that's the secret. Very few people know the calmest person in the room always holds the most power. The one who doesn't flinch, doesn't panic, doesn't rush to speak, that person is dangerous. That person is focused, and more than anything, that person is free. Because when nothing bothers you, nothing controls you. Not people, not emotions, not circumstances. Now ask yourself, how much of your life have you spent reacting to things that didn't even matter a week later? Think about it. All that stress, all that mental noise. Was it worth it? Here's what most people don't realize. Every reaction costs you energy. Every time you get angry, you give your power away. Every time you argue back, you lose focus. Every time you overthink, you pause your progress. But what if you could unlearn that? What if you could train your mind to pause instead of explode, to act with intention instead of react out of habit? Wouldn't your life look completely different? And here's the beautiful part. You can learn to live above the noise. You can learn to move in silence. You can learn to act like nothing bothers you, not because you're cold, but because you're in control. This is not about ignoring emotions. It's about mastering them. This is not about being passive. It's about choosing your power. There's a reason the most successful, focused, and respected people carry a calm presence. They've trained for it. They've practiced stillness. And they've learned one truth that changes everything. You don't need to react to everything. You're allowed to protect your peace. And if you can hold on until the end of this video, you'll walk away with something far more valuable than motivation. You'll walk away with a mindset, a new way of seeing yourself, and a skill most people never master in their lifetime. A mindset that says, I no longer chase calm. I carry it within me. Stay with me. Because by the time we finish, you'll no longer just hear the idea of being unbothered. You'll feel it. You'll understand it. And you'll be ready to become it. This isn't just a video. This is your invitation to unlock the strongest version of you. Calm is not weakness. It's not silence. It's not pretending things don't affect you. Calm is strength under control. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are, no matter what's happening around them. Most people think power comes from being loud, from dominating, from fighting back. But real power, the kind that lasts, comes from restraint, from knowing when to act and when to wait, from being able to sit in chaos and still breathe steady. When you stay calm, you think clearer. You speak with intention. You don't waste time on things that don't matter. You don't let anger write your story. Calm gives you space. Space to pause. Space to choose. Space to respond with purpose, not panic. And that's rare in this world. Because everyone wants to win arguments, be right, prove a point. But the calm one, they don't chase ego. They protect their energy. That's why calm people are often misunderstood. They seem quiet, cold, distant. But the truth is, they're just focused. They're not running from conflict. They've simply outgrown it. Calm is not what you do. It's what you don't do. You don't react to nonsense. You don't let noise get inside your mind. You don't hand your peace to people who haven't earned it. Because once you learn to be calm in the middle of chaos, Nothing can control you anymore. You stop living life on edge. You stop fearing people's opinions. You stop losing yourself in moments of stress, and you start living from the inside out. The world may stay loud, but you stay still because your calm isn't for them. It's for you. And it's the beginning of something powerful, or something most will never understand, but you will. Because now you've tasted the power of not being moved. It remembers pain, it holds on to fear, and when something feels uncomfortable, it responds fast, before we even think. Someone insults you, your ego flares up. Someone rejects you, you feel unworthy. You lose something, panic sets in. These reactions are automatic. They're rooted in your past, your childhood, your experiences, your pain. They come from a place deep in your mind that doesn't care about peace. It only cares about protecting you. But here's what most people don't know. You don't have to live on autopilot. You don't have to let old pain decide your future. You don't have to let every trigger pull your emotions like a switch. You can pause, you can observe, you can rewire. Yes, it's hard, because reactions feel natural, but natural doesn't always mean right, and feelings aren't always facts. When you react without awareness, you hand over your control. You let the world play you like a puppet. But when you understand why you react, you take the first step toward freedom, because now you're not just reacting, you're noticing, you're becoming conscious. And with that awareness, you gain a new power, the power to stop, to breathe, to choose a different response. Reactions are the past speaking, but action, mindful, calm action, is the future you building itself. So the next time your heart races, the next time your mind wants to explode, ask yourself, what am I really protecting here? That one question can shift everything. Because once you know why you react, you can finally start choosing not to. Every time you react without thinking, you give away a piece of your power. You may not notice it at first, but over time, it adds up. One angry outburst, one moment of panic, one careless reply, and suddenly your energy is gone. Your focus is shattered. Your peace destroyed. Reactions are emotional debts. You pay for them with your time, your mood, and your self-respect. Because when you live in reaction, you live like a puppet, pulled by every word, every look, every situation. Anyone can press a button and control you. Think about that. If someone's opinion can ruin your day, they own your peace. If a problem can break your focus, it owns your mind. If the past still makes you angry, it owns your present. That's not freedom. That's slavery in disguise. A prison built from emotions you never learned to control. But here's the truth no one talks about. You were never supposed to react to everything. You were supposed to choose. Choose your words, choose your response, choose your energy. But that only happens when you pause, when you stop letting the outside world control your inner world. Because control isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself, your breath, your thoughts, your decisions. And when you lose that, you lose everything. Reactions feel good in the moment. They feel powerful. But that power is fake. It disappears the second the moment passes, and regret takes its place. So learn to pause. Learn to hold your tongue. Learn to breathe when your emotions rise. That pause, that second of silence, that's where your power lives. Because in that space, you're not a slave to emotion anymore. You're the master of it. And that's how you take your control back, one calm response at a time. You've been taught a lie. That power comes from outside of us, from people's approval, from money, from status, from control over others. But real power doesn't live out there. It lives inside, where no one can touch it no matter what they say or do. The truth is, nothing outside of you has the power to break you unless you hand it over. Most people don't see this. They think, if I had more respect, I'd be confident. If people treated me better, I'd be at peace. If life was easier, I wouldn't be so angry. But all of that puts your peace in someone else's hands, and that's dangerous because people change. Circumstances shift. Life doesn't ask for your permission. So what happens when everything around you falls apart? If your strength depends on the outside, then you fall apart too. But if your strength comes from within, you stay standing, you stay focused, you stay unshaken. That's real power. Not the kind that shows off, the kind that doesn't need to. Because when your power is internal, no one can take it. No words can touch it. No failures can crack it. No chaos can shake it. It's not about becoming untouchable. It's about becoming unmoved. You stop begging for peace from people who can't even find it for themselves. You stop chasing happiness in things that were never built to hold it. You stop letting the world decide how you feel inside. Because once you realize that calm, confidence, and strength come from within, you'll never chase it from the outside again. You'll walk through life with quiet power, not because you need to prove anything, but because nothing out there controls you anymore. Stillness is not the absence of action. It's the presence of inner control. In a world that rushes, stillness feels unfamiliar. In a world that screams, silence feels strange. But stillness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's clarity. It's the power to stay grounded while everything else spins. Most people confuse movement with progress. They think if they're not reacting, they're not doing enough. But constant reaction isn't strength, it's noise. The strongest minds move slowly, not because they're unsure, but because they've learned to value calm over chaos. They've learned that sometimes saying nothing is louder than saying everything. Stillness doesn't mean ignoring life, it means facing it with a steady heart. It means letting emotions pass without becoming them. It means watching the storm without stepping into it. Because when you're still inside, you can see clearly. You make better choices. You hear your own thoughts. You separate what matters from what doesn't. And that's rare. Because most people react to the world without even thinking. They argue because they feel challenged. They panic because something changed. They run because they're uncomfortable. But stillness teaches you to sit in the discomfort and stay awake, to observe the fear without feeding it, to wait when rushing would only make it worse. It takes strength to be still, to hold back when your emotions beg to explode, to stand quiet when your ego wants to fight, to breathe deeply when your mind screams to run. That's not silence. That's mastery. Stillness is where real decisions are made. It's where your future gets shaped, not by force but by focus, not by reaction but by reflection. And when you live from that place, you stop chasing control, because you are control. You don't owe anyone your reaction. Not every insult deserves a reply. Not every opinion needs a debate. Not every moment requires your energy. But most people live like they're responsible for answering everything, as if silence means weakness, as if walking away means surrender. That's the trap. The world teaches you that you must defend yourself at all times, that you must explain, prove, argue, and convince. But here's the truth. You're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to not respond, to let people think what they want, to rise above drama without needing to be right. Because silence isn't a lack of strength. It's proof you no longer need noise to feel powerful. And when you realize this, life gets quieter, but stronger. You stop feeding energy into things that drain you. You stop defending yourself to people who don't even hear you. You stop chasing approval from those who never offered it honestly. You don't owe anyone your reaction. You owe yourself your focus. Every time you respond to nonsense, you lose a moment of peace. Every time you explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you, you burn energy that could have been used for growth. Let them think what they think. Let them say what they say. Let the moment pass. Because not reacting doesn't mean you didn't notice. It means you chose yourself instead. It means you valued your time, your mental health, your direction, more than the need to prove a point. That's strength. That's discipline. That's freedom. The more you grow, the more you'll see. Your silence will speak louder than your words ever could, and your calm will become the loudest voice in the room. Emotional discipline is rare. That's why it's powerful. In a world full of noise, it sets you apart. Not because you feel less, but because you've learned not to let feelings control you. Anyone can get angry, anyone can panic, anyone can lose their cool when life gets tough. That doesn't take strength, that's automatic. But the person who pauses, who breathes before they speak, who doesn't let emotions explode all over the place, that person holds power most people can't even understand. Because emotional discipline isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent. It's knowing that your feelings are real, but they don't always deserve control. Anger wants to lead, you hold the reins. Fear wants to stop you, you keep walking. Ego wants to fight, you choose peace instead. That's power, Not the kind that looks good in the moment, but the kind that builds a life. Emotional discipline makes you unshakable. It teaches you to respond, not react. It gives you space to think, to choose, to lead. And more than anything, it protects your energy. Because not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion deserves a war. Not every emotion needs a stage. When you master your emotions, you stop being pulled by every small wave. You become the ocean instead, deep, calm, and impossible to move without reason. Most people wait for peace to come from outside. They want the world to calm down so they can feel better. But emotional discipline flips the script. It says, let the world stay loud. I will stay still. And that stillness becomes your superpower. Because when your emotions don't control you, not every fight is yours to fight. Not every problem deserves your energy. Not every word needs your attention. Choosing your battles is a skill few truly learn, because it requires patience. It requires self-awareness. It requires strength. When you react to everything, you become exhausted. You stretch yourself thin, trying to fix what doesn't need fixing. You get caught in drama, distractions, and endless noise. But when you learn to choose, you save your power for what truly matters. You invest your energy where it can grow you. You protect your peace from needless storms. This isn't weakness or avoidance, it's wisdom. The strongest people don't win every fight. They win the right fights. They know when to stand firm and when to step back. Because sometimes stepping back is the strongest move of all. When you refuse to react to petty things, when you decide not to waste energy on trivial conflicts, you show the world and yourself that you're in control. You become the calm in the chaos, the steady force that can't be pulled off course, the person who moves with purpose, not panic. Remember, every time you say yes to something unnecessary, you're saying no to something important. Your focus, your goals, your growth. Freedom isn't just breaking chains on the outside. Freedom is choosing where to put your energy. And when you master that, you master your life. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Strong walls protect what's inside, your peace, your focus, your strength. But if those walls are weak or broken, every negative word, every criticism, every challenge slips in. It invades your mind, steals your calm, and steals your power. Building an inner fortress means creating boundaries, not just around your time and space, but around your emotions and thoughts. It means deciding what you allow to enter your mind, what thoughts you feed and what you starve, what opinions you hold close and which ones you let go. This fortress isn't built overnight. It's built brick by brick, moment by moment. Every time you choose calm over chaos, every time you refuse to react, you lay down a new stone in your foundation. And when your fortress is strong, no storm can shake you. No criticism can break you. No stress can tear you down. People will test your walls with words, with actions, with pressure. But a strong fortress stands firm. It doesn't crumble under attack. It holds steady because it knows its value. Building this fortress means you value yourself. You respect your time, your energy, your mind, and you protect them fiercely. The more you protect your inner world, the more you grow, the more you become unbothered, the more you become unstoppable. So start today, build your walls, guard your peace, and become the master of your own mind. Lasting peace isn't found in changing the outside world. It's found in mastering your inside world. People spend years chasing peace in the wrong places, in approval, possessions, success, or others' acceptance. But peace isn't a trophy you earn. It's a state of being you create. The secret is simple, yet few live it. Peace comes when you stop fighting what is, when you accept life's challenges without resistance, when you stop reacting to every small disturbance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding what you can control and what you can't. It means focusing your energy where it makes a difference, and letting go of what drags you down. When you accept, you stop battling the world. Instead, you use your energy to build, to grow, to move forward. This shift changes everything. You become less reactive and more intentional, less anxious and more confident, less controlled by fear and more guided by purpose. The mind is like water. When it's still, it reflects clearly. When it's disturbed, it's hard to see. Peace is that stillness. that clear reflection of who you really are, and it's waiting inside you right now. You don't have to wait for life to get easier. You don't have to wait for others to change. You don't have to wait for the storm to pass. Lasting peace is your choice. Choose it today. Choose to stop reacting. Choose to stand calm, steady, and unbothered. And watch how your whole world begins to change. Letting go is not giving up. It's not weakness. It's one of the strongest things you can do. We hold on to things, grudges, pain, fears, thinking they protect us. But really, they trap us. They weigh down our minds and hearts. They keep us stuck in the past. Holding on keeps you tied to what no longer serves you. It keeps your energy wasted on things you cannot change. Letting go frees you. It releases the burden of carrying old pain. It opens space for new possibilities. It lets you move forward without chains. The hardest part? Knowing what to let go of, what battles to stop fighting, what voices to stop listening to. When you learn to let go, you stop reacting to every jab and every disappointment. You stop letting the past write your story. Instead, you choose peace. You choose growth. You choose yourself. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning from what happened, then moving beyond it. It means facing your emotions with courage, not running from them. It means trusting that life has something better ahead. When you let go, you build strength inside. Not the kind that fights nonstop, but the kind that knows when to stand firm and when to release. Because freedom isn't holding tight. Freedom is knowing when to open your hands. Your mind is your sanctuary, the place where your true power lives. It's where your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings shape everything you experience. But if your mind is cluttered with noise, worry, anger, doubt, you'll feel lost, restless, and easily broken. The key is to treat your mind like a sacred place, a place you guard with care, a place where only what serves you is allowed in. You choose what you feed your mind, what you think about, what you believe, and what you focus on. When you allow negative thoughts to take root, they grow like weeds, choking your peace and confidence. But when you plant seeds of calm, strength, and hope, you grow a garden of resilience and power. This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing your thoughts wisely, choosing what deserves your attention, and choosing to focus on solutions instead of problems. Every time you catch yourself spiraling into negativity, pause, breathe. Remind yourself that you control the gatekeeper of your mind. You don't have to accept every thought that comes your way. You can challenge them, replace them, and free yourself from mental chains. Your mind is your sanctuary. Protect it fiercely, nurture it daily, and watch how your life transforms when your inner world becomes your greatest strength. How you see the world shapes how you feel inside. Perspective isn't just about facts. It's about meaning. It's the lens through which your mind interprets every event, every word, every challenge. Two people can face the same situation. One feels defeated, overwhelmed, and angry. The other feels calm, focused, and determined. Why? Because they choose different perspectives. Your perspective is your power. When you change how you see things, you change how you react. Instead of seeing problems as obstacles, see them as opportunities to grow. Instead of seeing criticism as attack, see it as feedback to improve. This shift isn't easy. It requires awareness and practice. But once you train your mind, you'll find peace in the chaos, strength in uncertainty. When life pushes you down, your perspective decides if you stay down or rise stronger. It's a choice, every single moment. You don't control what happens to you, but you control how you interpret it, and that control gives you freedom. The power of perspective lets you stay unbothered by what tries to pull you away from your path. It lets you face challenges with courage and calm, and it turns setbacks into setups for success. Choose your perspective wisely. Because it will shape not only your day, becoming unbothered doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, a daily practice, a commitment to yourself to grow stronger, calmer, and wiser. You will face moments that test you, times when emotions flare, situations that try to shake your foundation. But every time you choose to stay calm, every time you refuse to react to the noise, you take one step closer to freedom. This journey requires patience, because old habits die hard, and the world around you often invites chaos. But remember, Strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's the ability to keep going despite it. With each challenge you learn. With each mistake, you grow. With each moment of stillness, you rebuild your inner fortress. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be committed. The path to becoming unbothered is the path to mastering your life. It's the path to peace that no one can take from you. So keep walking. Keep choosing yourself. Keep building your strength inside. Because the person who learns to act as if nothing bothers them is the person who finally lives free.